Good morning, BookTube, YouTube. This is Johnny. I thought, I say this all the time, thought I'd make a video. My wife just left and I'm trying to refocus my eyes. I think my eyes are getting old. They're kind of being worn out because of all the reading and I do. It's hard to focus these days, and anyway, without these glasses I can't see anything. But the point of this video is that it is November the 27th. Yes, last time I did a video I forgot to show the clock until the very end of the video. So it is November the 27th, 2025. It is 9:21 in the morning. This is the day that people celebrate what is called Thanksgiving. I'm not really into Thanksgiving. I mean, I'm into giving thanks, giving of thanks to God for His great salvation revealed to us in Christ. But I don't know. Anyway, I am waking up, having my cup of coffee. I'm not really a heavy coffee drinker. For many years, I didn't drink coffee. I drank tea. And then, I don't know, I started drinking coffee, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago. Well, I used to go downtown Holland and we go to a coffee place, my wife and I. My wife's a coffee drinker. And then I started drinking mochas at coffee shops. But anyway, so I'm waking up, writing in my diary. I'm on page 963 for the year 2025. And I am reading for devotions this morning the works of Thomas Goodwin, volume 5 of his collected works. I'm still reading Christ the Mediator, and I'm on book 5, chapter 15, the victory which Christ gained over Satan by his death, the glory of this victory displayed by the consideration of the greatness of that power which the devil had over us. And the text is from the Epistle of Hebrews in the New Testament, chapter 2, verse 14, that through death he might destroy him that had the power of death, that is the devil. So, but this video is going to be very short. I received a comment recently that they asked me if I had any books by the John Muir, who was a pioneer in the conservation movement or ecology movement or environmentalism. I don't think in his day that there was such a word to describe these kind of people. But I got into John Muir. Now I have to confess, I have not read any of these books. And why I have them is because, and I did a video over the years on our American West collection. When we would go to thrift stores or used book sales, or when I was volunteering at the local library used bookstore, we collected books on the American West. It's because, as you all know, my wife, her first nursing job when she got out of nursing school was in Gallup, New Mexico, and she has always been in love with the Southwest, especially New Mexico, Arizona. And so, I've always been into nature. I like books on rivers and mountains, and I collect nature books, bird books, all kinds of things like that. Like what we have over here. Like, for example, I have like these books. We have like books on trees of North America, a field guide to identification of trees in North America, a guide to field identification of birds of North America, a field guide to birds of North America, a wildlife federation. See, So we've always been into birds and trees and plants. Yeah. Wildflowers. Like we have this one, the Audubon Society Field Guide to North American Wildflowers. See, you know. So the point is, I've always been into nature. Well, more into nature as I've gotten older. So I collect nature books. And like, well, I've talked about the American Transcendentalists, like Ralph Waldo Emerson, but then you have David Thoreau, who was a naturalist, who was into nature, and he loved nature. And as you know, every day, like this morning, I fed the birds. I threw out crack corn for our birds. The juncos and the sparrows and the finches and the blue jays and the cardinals and the titmouse and the little nuthatches and the downy woodpeckers and things like that. So the point is, I know I'm rambling here, I'm still waking up, is that I collect the books of John Muir, and she wanted to see my collection. And so I just thought, since my wife has gone to church for Thanksgiving service, I just showed him. The first one I think I found this at some thrift store. Nature Writing, the story of my boyhood and youth, my first summer in the Sierras. He was in the Sierra Mountains, which are in California, and he's known for that. You see a picture of him on the cover there? He says here in the flap, well, it doesn't have a little summary of his biography, but this is Nature Writing, the story of my boyhood and youth, my first summer in the Sierra, the mountains of California, 16 essays by John. This is in the Library of America. There might be other volumes, I'm not sure, in this series, Library of America, I don't know. I picked this up somewhere. Library of America. And then I have another, this is a paperback, My First Summer in the Sierras, John Muir, the John Muir Library, foreword by Frederick Turner. Frederick Turner, he was a historian on the American West. I have a book by him, the Sierra Club book. And then I have The Mountains of California by John Muir. This is really a nice edition. It has nice illustrations in it. It's a really nice, I don't know where I got this one. Picked it up at some thrift store or a used bookstore. The Mountains of California, John Muir, edited and with an introduction by Robert C. Burton. The Mountains of California is a chronicle of Muir's personal insights into the complexity of these two vastly different ranges. He marvels at the wonders of the glaciers, lakes, valleys, and summits, examines the native wildlife and plant life. The founder of the Sierra Club, Muir celebrates with elegance this area, carefully exploring the interaction of man and nature in this fragile terrain. His perceptions are as relevant today as they were in 1894 when The Mountains of California was first published. And then I have a biography of John Muir, A Passion for Nature, The Life of John Muir by Donald Worcester. So this is on his life. The Passion for Nature, The Life of John Muir. And then I have John Muir, Mountaineering Essays by John Muir. John Muir says on the back here, John Muir is one of the world's foremost writers of mountaineering essay. His writings are exquisite expressions of the transcendental joy he found in the mountains. Whether frozen in a below-zero blizzard on Mount Shasta, which is in Northern California, or momentarily doomed on the treacherous slopes of Mount Rainier, or exhilarated by the wondrous alpine ice-scapes from the top of Mount Rainier, Muir exalted in God's creation. Collected in this volume are Muir's mountain adventures from California to Alaska. Then you have another biography, The Life of John Muir, Son of Wilderness, The Life of John Muir, by Lenny Marsh Wolfe. Yeah, if I see any books by John Muir, biographies, writings, I collect them. There's a picture of John Muir. And then another, this is John of the Mountains, The Unpublished Journals of John Muir by Lenny Marsh Wolfe. These are his journals. There's one here, Going Home to the Mountains, Trip to Middle and North Forks of the San Joaquin River, Sunnyside Observations. These are from his journals. Then you have John Muir Travels in Alaska with an introduction by David Rains Wallace. These are his travels to Alaska. And then I have Wilderness World of John Muir, edited by Edwin Way Teal. This is John Muir lived from 1838 to 1914. During that time, he covered most of the American wilderness alone, on foot, without a gun, without a sleeping bag, with only a sackful of stale bread and tea. Major credit is ascribed to him for saving the Grand Canyon and Arizona's petrified forests. In 1903, he convinced President Theodore Roosevelt, while on a 3-day camping trip together, of the importance of a national conservation program. He had been president of the Militant Sierra Club since its formation in 1892. Muir's writings, based on journals he kept throughout his life, gives our generation a picture of America only 100 years ago. Still wild and unsettled, Edwin Way Teal has preserved the best of Muir's work in a selection that show both the age and the man. See, these are selections from his writings. Memories of a Youth, he has selections here in this book. Memories of Youth, The University of the Wilderness, The Range of Light, The Valley. He wrote a book, the last book I have, Yosemite Valley, by John Muir. The Yosemite, John Muir recounts his adventures during the years he sojourned amid Yosemite Valley, spectacular scenery. Muir eloquently portrays the valley he called the marvelous wonderland, providing detailed descriptions of its natural features, from tiny birds and wildflowers to fierce storms and floods, even an earthquake he experienced. Combining a rare literary skills with a passion for discovery, Muir captures moments of breathtaking adventure, peering over the dizzying brink of Yosemite Falls, climbing 100 feet up into the high hollow ice cone, scaling Half Dome while it is covered with fresh blanket of snow to see his shadow, a half-mile long, clearly outlined on the sea of clouds beneath him. So that's what Yosemite Valley is. He's probably, and this goes here about and the selections: Forest of the West, Glacier Pioneer, The Philosophy of John Muir. This is supposed to be among the rare books at the Yale University Library. There's a rusty brown volume with penciled notations running along the margins, spilling over the fly leaves at the back. The book is volume 1 of the prose works of Ralph Waldo Emerson, published in 1870 by Fields, Osgood and Company of Boston. It was this book that John Muir carried with him and read and reread during the mountain days in the High Sierra. As you all know, Ralph Waldo Emerson is one of my favorite American writers, poets, philosophers. I have his journals, his essays. So anyway, this is my John Muir collection. Yosemite, John Muir. The Wilderness World of John Muir, edited by Edwin Way Teal. John Muir Travels in Alaska. Biography, John of the Mountains, unpublished, no, this is just journals. John of the Mountains, unpublished journals of John Muir. Then you have John Muir, the Son of the Wilderness, The Life of John Muir, by Lenny Marsh Wolf. And then there's Mountaining Essays by John Muir. Yeah, like there's an essay here in this book, Near View of the High Sierra. Mountain Thoughts, A First Ascent of Harold Island, things like that. And then another biography on John Muir, A Passion for Nature, The Life of John Muir, by Donald Worcester. And then his book, The Mountains of California, by John Muir. First Summer in the Sierra by John Muir. And then this Library of America, Nature Writings, The Story of My Boyhood and Youth, First Summer in the Sierra, The Mountains of California, Strickton and Essays by John Muir. So that's my John Muir collection. I might have more, but these were all in my wife's library in our nature books. We have a whole shelf of nature books. But I'm always looking for books about John Muir, his writings, Sierra Club, things like that. So that's my John Muir collection. So yeah, it's Thanksgiving. We go down the street to have Thanksgiving with our son and his wife and our 2 granddaughters. And then our daughter-in-law's mother and father would be there. Maybe Carol's younger brother might be there with his wife. We're not sure right now. There's snow on the ground this morning here in Southwest Michigan. And yeah. So I hope you have a blessed Thanksgiving. Yeah, my comment, they want to see John Muir. And I think I might have showed these books when I did that video of the American West collection, which is really massive. I have a massive collection of books on the American West. I mean, you think about the American West, I mean, it's just how you could spend. Also, I collect books on American Indians and books on mountains and rivers and flowers and trees and birds, and you could spend you You could fill your house up with books like that. But yeah, I love birds, as you all know. I'm always watching birds. What's going on 20 minutes? I'm rambling here. I'm still waking up to this Thursday morning. It is now 9:41 in the morning here in Southwest Michigan. It is November the 27th. It's a Thursday here in the Hermit Hut. Writing in my diary, and I'm going to read Thomas Goodwin. I'm going to pray. Give God thanks for all his many blessings, material and spiritually. So I hope you have a blessed Thanksgiving. Have a blessed rest of this week. I might make a video. Someone wanted to see a used book haul. I might do that the next video. I have those books I got at thrift stores this week. I got a book in the mail the other day. I got books came in the mail yesterday. So there's always books. So once again, thank you for the comments. Thank you for subscribing. Do pray you're all doing well. And until next time, bye.